Imagine you and your colleague who is much stronger than you, he's very huge and he's a bodybuilder. You are sitting in your office drinking coffee. Suddenly, a man enters the room and starts beating you to take whatever you have. What would you do? Sorry, you are being beaten and you can't do anything, of course. I meant, what would you think your strong colleague should do? Yes, he should defend you. He should stop the attacker, or at least he should call the security. But imagine he does nothing. He just sits there indifferently and keeps drinking his coffee. What would you call such a person? Now imagine the attacker sits on your chest and tries to choke you. But still, your strong coworker does nothing. The attacker pulls out a knife of his pocket and starts stabbing you. But yet, your strong coworker keeps on drinking his coffee. He does nothing. He can't help you, but he doesn't move. He only says, solve your problem peacefully by talking, but he takes no action. Now my question is, what would you call such a person? He's gutless, he's a coward, just a spineless jerk? Yes, you're right, he really is. Now keep this example in mind and look at the countries in the world. Sadly, this is exactly what we see too often. Unfortunately, the same situation exists. Let me tell you a true story that follows this pattern. In the 19th century, a movement began to create a new country for the Jews. In 1917, Britain promised the Jews it would establish a homeland for them in Palestine. From 1920 to 1947, many Jews immigrated to Palestine, and in 1947, Palestine was partitioned into a Jewish and an Arab state. In 1948, the State of Israel was officially established. At first, Jews bought land from Syrian and Lebanese landowners and then evicted Palestinian farmers. But after 1948, they took Palestinian land by force and through horrific massacres. From 1948 on, the Jewish territory grew like a cancerous tumor, displacing many Palestinians. Today, they continue to expand their territory and openly say Palestinians should be forcibly moved to neighboring countries. Do you know what terrible massacres their prime ministers have carried out since the disastrous year 1948 to force Palestinians to abandon their homes and land? When I was younger and I saw some photos of the Sabra and Shatila massacre in 1942, I was shocked for days at how cruel and savage some people can be to commit such crimes. Now that I see the genocide, starvation, and killing of children in Palestine, I realize that there really are ruthless wolves who can do all these crimes. But what surprises me more is how some cowardly and godless governments can be so indifferent. A group kills children, starves people, commits genocide, destroys homes, forces people to move to other countries, and commits every crime. And the rest of the world just watches. Some countries even defend this child-killing regime. Others are so cowardly that they take no stance. Some claim neutrality and try to persuade both sides to reconcile. It's like a wolf attacking sheep and tearing them apart, while other governments tell both sides to sit down and work things out diplomatically. It's ridiculous. It's not only cowardice, but also lying and deceit. Now you see how cowardly and deceitful some governments are. This child-killing regime is worse than a wolf. It has refused many important international treaties, and it openly says we must kill every single one of our enemies, from children to adults. But yet, some governments invite this wolf to dialogue and reconciliation with the victims.
Hence the reason why the Torah in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 16, says, rules of war, Lo techaye kol neshama, do not allow anyone to remain alive. Nothing. No mercy. Furthermore, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verse 19, Macho et zecher Amalek, completely erase any memory of Amalek, which means men, women, and children, the Torah says, do not have the right to exist.
Now I ask these governments a question. Imagine a ruthless killer who has killed many people picking up your little innocent child and trying to cut the child's throat with his sword. What would you do? Now, would you remain neutral and invite him to peaceful dialogue? Of course not. You do whatever you can to save your little child. But unfortunately, some countries act like that strong, huge colleague who keeps drinking coffee while you are being killed and takes no real action. Only a few brave countries stand up to defend the oppressed and fight that wolf at great cost. You who are watching this video and are aware of such injustice in the world are also responsible to do something within your power, at least by producing or sharing such videos. Try to wake up those who are sleeping in their selfishness.